Connors and Ferris handles workers' comp, Social Security disability, and personal injury cases. Listen, I get it. Workers' comp claims can be a real pain. But Connors and Ferris are here to fight for you and get you the compensation you deserve. Whether you threw out your back on the job, slipped when you should have gripped, or your boss thinks overtime means free labor. Spoiler, it doesn't. They've got your back at Connors and Ferris. With offices in New York City, Syracuse, Rochester, and Buffalo, they're the go-to team for getting the compensation you deserve. No gimmicks, no nonsense, just real results. Call Connors and Ferris, 262-COMP. That's 262-COMP for Connors and Ferris.
You got a mountain inside your chest. It's been a while, just waiting to crest. Look through the fog and clench your fists. Strike a spark, ignite the mist. Feel the earth beneath your soles. Roots run deep, you're in control. Whisper loud and let them hear. Every answer's in your mirror. Step into the
Welcome to another installment of Billightenment, but I really want to put this out on Billified as well, because I think there's so many things happening in the world and time and stuff and I have questions and thoughts and things, and I love it because Sheila reached out and said we haven't done one in a while, and I thought, wow. Sheila, you've lost a lot of weight, by the way. Is that rude to say?
Yeah. Almost 50 pounds, yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
Really?
Getting healthy, feeling better.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
Got a few more to go. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's
it's
nice.
Like being able to reach down and do things and not be so...
Yeah, right. I got you. That's pretty good. That caught me off guard. I just looked up. I was like, wow, look at Sheila. Sheila looks great. So let's start with, because you said you wanted to talk about heart math, but we started kind of on our own, and we were talking about how did going back to school for me come up? Right. And I said that, here's the thing. And I was reading about, I gave you the story as to why, and I've said it on the podcast before. Mm-hmm. And it just seemed to just come about serendipitously that you thought, well, how do I say no to this? And now I'm going, am I in over my head in some areas? I don't know. But we were talking about person-focused therapy, which I said I like because it sort of lets the person come to their own conclusion. You're not telling them they're wrong. Their feelings aren't wrong. There isn't anything wrong. And the example I used was a guy who just got married, and then he decided that he likes going out for beers on a Friday with his buddies after work, and his wife would get annoyed, and he didn't understand why. And he's like, listen, I don't get it. It's just me blowing off steam. Yeah. And then the next session, he says, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I realize she thinks I value my friends over her.
Bingo. And
he's like, that's not the case. And, but it really comes down to communication in a relationship is so important.
Exactly.
Right. But I just think when you think of the relationship between the person and life, right, that's always coming at you, it's really how do we handle all that stuff? And we've seen a lot of changes, and you've been saying there's going to be a lot of changes, and so I'll leave it there. And I know you wanted to talk about some heart math, and I think that all kind of fits in here. Yeah.
It's all about the consciousness, the thought process of the emotions or what is happening. So, the wife kind of concerned that the friends was more important was her. It was bingo right there.
Yeah.
But it's like we justify our actions and not really understanding what is happening within the relationship. Yeah. And it's all about listening to the person, from the heart. And that's what heart math is all about.
Okay, so what is that? Because I hear you say heart math.
Okay.
And there's the Heart Math Institute.
That is the Heart Math Institute. It is about learning to connect with your heart intelligence. Heart intelligence meaning it has a brain. It has more it has more cells in it than the actual brain. And your heart is what starts beating, when they first see that there is a embryo there. Yep. And it's the heart that you see. So the heart starts first and then it develops. And in heart math, it's all about building resilience against stress and trauma and going within. So whenever we talk about going within, it's an inside job. Our whole life is an inside job.
Yeah.
So we need to really take a look at our own lives. Are we happy? If we're not happy, why are we unhappy? So what I do as an energy practitioner is help people understand what's going on inside. What are the choices that you're making? You know, and a lot of it is relationship stuff and professional stuff.
I think a lot of times too, we're so conditioned, I feel like, to, and I know that a lot of times we seem to say the same things, maybe in different ways.
Oh, yeah, and
right?
we need to.
Yes,
and because
I
that's
agree.
how we need to people to understand it.
But right. So what I'm saying is, like, so many times we look for our happiness from external sources.
Right.
And really it has to come from within you. And that's so easy to say. Yeah. But then again, you know, here comes somebody, and if they only just behave differently, I would feel so much better.
Right.
And that's not possible, and you can't really assert on that. And you have to kind of sometimes look down into yourself and go, what is this triggering in me?
Bingo.
Right.
Bingo. And how does it affect me?
What is that belief?
What was that?
What is that belief in me that makes this like, rah?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Upsets you, or you feel defensive about it.
Right.
When you said that.
Right.
When, you know, all the other stuff, I do all this for you and that for
Yes,
you, and why
yes.
are you saying that? Well, that's also expectations in a relationship, and a healthy relationship, communicating.
Yeah.
We talked about communicating, listening to the other person. So heart math has to do with measurable data showing how your emotions, your field of energy affects your physical body, all different areas of your body. Yeah. And scientifically, it is the connection between the heart and the thought process. So thought is energy, and thoughts are consciousness. What's in your consciousness field? What are you thinking?
See, this is so interesting because I was trying to think of something, not something to talk to you about, but a way to phrase the question that I had. And it is about thoughts. And I think, I always say, I do believe that we create our own reality. And everything that's coming, at some point, if you can just stop and go, whoa, I'm doing this. This isn't that. This is me. And how? But if we create our own reality, and we can do it just by focusing on it, because I believe that whatever you want, you can have or be or do whatever you want in this life.
Yeah.
So how do you stop focusing then on things like the anemic bank account? You know what I'm saying? The bank account that looks like it went on
I get it.
Ozempic.
The scarcity. Everybody's
and that's
going
like, right, so you feel that, and then you start to go, well, that's what I'm focusing on. Right now I'm worried, and I'm scared, and I'm focused, and that's where my focus is. And instead of sitting back and going, and I don't know, I started doing something called the 5-minute journal in the morning where you're writing down things. And some days I have a hard time. Like, I got to sit there to go, what am I grateful about? I can't come up with a third one.
So that's where you make it very simple. You know, I'm grateful I can see today. I'm grateful I can walk. Just go with the little things, because that is really what it's all about.
Jesus, you're so sorry.
Right.
But you're so right. I just, as you're saying that, you're so right.
Comparing ourselves to other people is one of the triggers, one of the issues in the tissues. Where did you learn that? You're not good enough. You're not worthy enough.
Right.
All right. So it goes back to the thought process and development, you know, emotional development, going through the different stages, finding out your authenticity. What does that mean?
Yeah, your authentic self.
Yeah, right.
I know, it's a great term, right? We hear that.
It's
And manifestation are the two buzzwords right now.
Right. And also, recalibrating and attunement. You got to attune or align yourself with the energy. It's like, what the heck are they talking about? All it is what's going on inside. What are you feeling inside?
Yeah.
What emotions? And that's what heart math is all about settling yourself in any situation. It's about changing you on the inside.
Right.
And so what heart math does is shows it scientifically, but it's really about building your own a way of understanding things. It is about going with inside and changing the total chemistry of your whole body and understanding that relationships are important, but the first important one is with yourself. And how are you acting? How are you relating to people? And it affects every area of our life. And when you were just talking a minute ago, I kept hearing fear.
Yeah.
It's fear.
Right.
Where did you learn fear? Yeah, exactly.
My dad.
Exactly. Right. It's just like with all the conversations we've had before about early development and how it affected you and the choices that you make. And then also now what's happening is that this is a full worldwide change in the shift of energy, consciousness, doing things, survival. Survival is the key, is that everything is turning upside down. And, sometimes you have to, when a door closes, another one opens up.
Yeah.
But we're so fearful of going through that door, of opening it or it closing. We stay in that fearful mode of survival. Oh my God. And then it's the whack-a-mole effect. It affects this emotion, that emotion.
Right.
And that's what I say about integrated energy therapy or any type of counseling, thought process, how you relate to things. It is about what have you learned inside. And a lot of people compare themselves with other people. And you're unique. You're authentic. But we want to change the other person so that we can do what we want to do.
Right.
So then you go back into the selfishness and, things that we learned and say, oh, no, I'm not being selfish. Look what all I'm doing for you. But it's how important is a relationship. And everybody is important to be heard, to be listened to. And that's what the major counseling is all about. Go with inside. What's going on inside the person? I want to hear you. Tell me. And not try to change them or judge them or do differently. Just because you have a different life doesn't mean that they're not just as important.
Right.
But validate them. Validate.
This is kind of hitting because had a tough meeting yesterday involving my son who got very, very upset with stuff. And I think was expecting a certain reaction, and I just said, thank you for, telling me how you're really feeling on the inside. Right. And I think that sometimes is hard to hear because you're right. It comes back to, well, look at all the stuff I'm doing for you, blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
And that's all the things that I heard growing up, like, you ungrateful.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we were called ungrateful ingrates.
Where did you get that from, Bill?
The ungrateful ingrates. And I certainly never have said that to my kids, but I can't say there are times where you're like, geez, look at all the, but at the same time, you kind of have to step back and go, you're right. Each person is different. And can you just, I know these terms sound so weird, but sit with it. And I know that sounds, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, just sit there and feel the emotion. Just sit with it. Just be there. Acknowledge that it's there. I'm very good at compartmentalizing things. I can put it in this shelf and that shelf and put it here and take it down when I need it. And that's a nice thing. It's not always a healthy thing, but it's a nice thing. But I think if you can just sometimes sit and be with the emotion in the moment, it may make you more empathetic.
Yes.
And maybe wiser. I know that sounds silly.
And that's all energy.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
all energy.
Right.
Being able to sympathize with somebody, but empathize with them.
Right.
Feel what they're feeling. And then also, what is your reaction to them? It's about communication and the flow of a relationship, no matter what it is. And a lot of people aren't heard. They don't want to, other people don't want to listen to them. I'm more important.
Yeah.
And it's hard being a parent, as we've always talked about. They don't come with instructions. Kids don't come with instructions.
No.
And we do the best we can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about our upbringing or our things that we've learned, the wisdom within, going within, and to get the answers, And that's where everything is changing right now. It's like, I'm not comfortable with this happening. I'm not comfortable with that happening. Well, then you got to make changes. A lot of people don't want to make changes. And sometimes it's forced upon you. Just like a divorce with my situation. What I went through for many years, I did the best I could and then realized it's time to move on. It's time to move on. And even though it's fearful and scary in very many ways, you got to do it, be able to survive. And that's exactly everything is happening right now.
Everything happening. What do you mean by that?
Everything happening in the energy field, in the world, in our society, in our workplace, in the economic situation, in our housing development, in our food supply. How much it's costing us since COVID. Everything has changed, but it started way before COVID. And now we're actually seeing the wake-up call in the last 5 years. And that's what I've always said, and I've seen it and knew it, that it was coming, a time was coming. Humanity was changing. Things were coming out, and seeing things in two different ways instead of just one way.
It's interesting because as you're talking about COVID, and this would be sort of off, I guess, our general topic, but I think that COVID was a blessing and a curse. And I see the blessing in that.
It's a paradigm shift.
Families got to spend time together and see what's important, right?
Yes, exactly.
And so now people have jobs where they can be more accessible to family. And you show the importance of that. And the time was, for a lot of people, was really valued. They really, really valued that. The bad of that is I look at school things now, right? And when I say that, I'm just going to say this one thing. A lot of schools now are offering free breakfast, free lunch. It doesn't matter what side of town they have it.
Exactly.
Everything comes prepackaged because of COVID, and everything these kids are grabbing is full of sugar. They're eating the little powdered donuts. They're eating boxes of bullshit cereal. They're eating, and I go, that's the curse of it. And it's almost like somebody saw an opportunity to make money. They cut a deal with the school and go, hey, it's COVID. You don't want to be touching anything. You don't want to, we need it, almost hermetically sealed, whatever that is. And I feel like that's part of the curse of this. And so now we've got kids that are hopped up on how can learn?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we talk about ADD and then we shove sugar down their throat. What are we doing?
Yeah, well, that's only one part of it.
Yeah.
That's only one part of it. Of course, we know there's a bigger picture to the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And it just didn't happen with COVID. The preservatives in the food and things have been changing. So it is us waking up and seeing the changes because we've lived it.
Yeah.
A lot of times the young kids don't see it because they haven't lived it. All they've had is electronics and the media and all this other stuff. Well, we've lived through all the changes and seen it, and some of them are good and some of them weren't good.
Yeah.
And now it's showing in the children, whether it's the food or whether it's the education. And yes, COVID was a paradigm shift of how things were, but also showing this is what we want you to do. But was it really a shift? Was it a shift to make money, or was it a shift for control? And
right. And I mean, when you say control, even for us, right, we now realize, hey, we can control our time.
Right.
We can control how much time we get with our family. We can find jobs that provide that opportunity.
And thinking.
And yeah.
It's the thinking process. It's like what you talked about, the journaling, all right? And also looking at life with your glass half full instead of half empty.
Right.
What can you do to change your life? Why are you unhappy? And a lot of people are just starting to come to that realization because they've had enough and they've seen all the changes, and now it's time to take action. It's always been time to take action. But whether we were ready emotionally, physically, spiritually to change, that's another story.
How important is it, a lot of times, I love the saying with Nike, just do it. And sometimes you just have to do it, right? Whatever it is.
You have to face your fears. You have to go through it.
Right.
And if you don't, nothing changes.
But if we also, so let's say, just do it and see what's going to happen, right? I kind of took that approach with the podcast in general and buying the equipment and all that. But on the other side, is there an importance to, if there's a little hesitation, to try to line up with your energy, and it sounds, because it's like a metaphysical thing, right? You're trying to line up with energy and figure out what's the right thing. And sometimes I don't know if people know how, I don't know that I know how to exactly do that. Let me give you this example. You get invited to the family reunion, and drunk Uncle Harry's going to be there, and he grabbed your wife's ass at the last one, and she doesn't want to go, and you're really pissed, but your mom will be pissed off if you don't go, and if you can't show up by yourself because everybody wants to see the kids, and you got to get your wife to come, and how do you do that? And then my only thing I can think is, you have to try to get her to agree, and then focus on what I would say, and this sounds nuts, is like, what are the attributes of Uncle Harry? He's funny. He can be nice. He can be generous. He can be this. and that you get more of that and less of the drunk ass grabber than the other. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's almost like sometimes you have to make the decision and then line up with the decision.
Exactly.
But look for the attributes that would be on the plus side than the negative side of the stick.
Or another thing is looking, why are you going in the first place? It's not for that uncle.
No.
You're going
Yes.
you're going to be with family and
Right.
to enjoy their company. And everybody, even though you might not have a relationship with them years ago, everybody changes.
Yes.
And as we get older, the more we realize life is too short.
Mm-hmm.
And how important is it? It's important to go to the reunion to be able to connect with your family members.
It's important that it's funny you say that because we're recording this on the day that the morning they announced that Robert Redford died.
I know, I seen that.
He's 89 years old,
Aw.
and you go, there was somebody who I think was like incandescently handsome. Maybe one of the, honestly, right? That was a guy who tried to grit up his face and he just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he's great.
Right. In the 70s, you had Jack Nicholson became a leading man, and he was certainly not pretty, right? He was schlubby and scruffy and all that. And you'd think even De Niro and stuff, those became the leading men. And this guy was just like, even when he tried to slub it up, he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It just was impossible.
And also Clint Eastwood and,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
old ones. It's like, it's sad, but, it's all
Right, but he did such cool things and was so for the independent films and the
Exactly.
and I feel
He didn't follow the crowd.
No, and I feel like the whole Sundance now has become like it got commercialized.
Right,
and
exactly.
they're going to keep certain films out and not certain films in. But I felt like Robert Redford's point was exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Every voice needs to be heard. Every
Exactly.
art needs to be seen. Everybody has a point of view that should have an opportunity to be seen by as many as possible.
Right.
You get to choose whether you want to see it or not, but let's give it a platform that's a little bigger than, hey, I made a movie, come to my backyard.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's also when you think of how did the movie come out in the first place, where did that inspiration come from? What is the whole purpose of having the movie? And just like what you just said about Robert Redford, everybody's individual, and give them the chance to make a movie.
Yes.
Give them the chance to actually express themselves, because it's all about individuality, but it's also about oneness. And now think of that.
Yeah.
Oneness. We're all human beings. We all have to make a living. We all have to breathe and take care of our families if we have families. And it's all about survival. And what is the way you want to survive? Do you want to be positive or do you want to be negative? Do you want to be happy or do you want to keep going and doing the same thing and feeling, not happy?
Right, where you're like pulling a piano up the side of the building. Right,
And then so that's where the mental stuff comes into play. The consciousness. What you're thinking is what you get. And if you can change everything around, if you look at situations like you're talking about your uncle, about the resentment, where did the resentment come from?
By the way, not a true story. I made that up.
Oh, that's good.
I
That's,
just want to let you know.
Well,
no one ever grabbed anybody's.
Exactly.
Actually, no. You know what? There may be a little truth now that I think about it.
Well, it could be a female that you were talking about. And
No,
not a male.
I
It's like-
didn't. I just thought of it. I could see this. There's a picture. Never mind.
I know.
There's a picture. Yeah. That's so funny.
It's all about relationships. It's
is.
about how you interact, just like with the couple in the very beginning.
Right.
Him going out on Friday night, not being with her. It's like, okay, let's look at the real issue here. She didn't feel heard or listened to or important enough.
Right.
And it's like, that's what it's about. It's every relationship is important. Every relationship. And also, sometimes we don't respond well to those people because of all the stuff that's going inside of us, whether it's our resentments or our anger or the jealousy
Yes.
or the envy.
Yes.
And it's all about, looking good.
Right.
And where's the fear come into play? If I'm not looking good, if I'm not accepted, where does that come into play?
It's so funny that we're talking about this because as you're saying this, I remember my father saying when I was a young guy, and you had a girlfriend or something or somebody you liked, and he would say, you never not want to need somebody.
Yes.
You want to be with them, but you don't need them.
Exactly.
And I don't think I ever really understood what that meant. And I think a lot of times, we hear about codependency and what does that become? And I don't know that all codependency is necessarily bad. Some people can have a beautiful codependency and really be very healthy.
It's the way you look at it.
Yes, but a lot of times codependency isn't. It's I need you to react this way or I know you're going to react this way, so I'm going to do this, but I need you to do this so I can do, you know what I mean? And it's
but isn't it great to have spontaneity and change?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about changing and, spice things up.
Right.
In any relationship.
Sure.
And that's called growth. And well, they say, where did you get that idea? Maybe it came from so-and-so. It's like, no, I was just thinking, we don't spend as much time together. Let's do this, or let's do something fun, or whatever.
Right.
It's all about.
What about, how does quantum energy play into all this too?
Quantum energy is the energy of our electromagnetic field.
Okay.
All right. So heart math is about your heart pumping and the love that comes from that. And they actually prove that in many, many, many ways. But the easiest way to explain about a little girl that was murdered, all right, and her heart was put into another little girl. And that other little girl started having nightmares and stuff. And they were able to trace back the killer from the first girl because it was all about love in the energy. Huh. All right? So I know it's scary, but it proves that the heart has a
memory.
Exactly, has a brain of its own. Yeah. And that's why a lot of controversy is when people have transplants. Am I going to like the same food that person did? Am I going to do the same thing that person lived by? Yes and no. Yes and no. And it's really about understanding that energy, quantum energy, is how we live, how we're alive. And we have to have the elements from the earth to do that. In other words, the air, the water, the food that we get, and in the heat from the sun. So it's all connected with our frequency on Mother Earth. Now, when you think about above, all right, so they always talk about, well, where does gravity come from? Where does the air come from? Right. So if you bring the two together, and where does it join? In the chakras, in the heart chakra, which is number 4. So there's 7 chakras, 3 above and 3 below. The 3 below is the connection to the earth, your survival techniques. Yeah. That's why the legs, a lot of people don't want to take action, is because they have the fear of taking action. So they stay stuck.
Right.
And their life gets miserable. When you go into the heart, love will never die, ever. In spirit, all right, all the religions talk about staying in love. Right. And the higher frequency of love. What is love? It is the love of our Creator, whatever you choose to think it is. But why are you here? As I said as a little girl, why am I here? Where did we come from? I said that my soul knew that. As a little girl, I came up with that actual question to my mother. She didn't know. She didn't know. But it wasn't until years later I went through to understand it, how the quantum connection with the divine, whatever you want to call it, and our relationships on earth and how we live as humans is connected. Heart math is about making that connection of the way we think, the way we talk, and also building resilience against things that no longer serve us.
Yeah.
No longer serve us. In other words, the stress in our life, the relationships in our life, how we respond to somebody.
Right.
And heart math is about different quick coherence technique where you go with inside, just get quiet, and bring the focus to your heart. And you bring that by things that you love, like your children, or anything, podcasting, being who you are, having fun.
Right.
You think of it. And as you think of it, it calms your heart variability rate. So it's the electromagnetic field of the body. Quantum energy is the frequency of how we bring that energy into our bodies and how it responds to our bodies.
Okay, so what would be a beginner version of maybe manipulating that energy that doesn't require like a physics degree? You know what I'm saying? Like you can sort of manipulate this energy.
Well, we do.
Yes.
That's the consciousness field.
Okay.
That's the energy that's coming out right now. Whether it's love or fear, or whether it's good or bad, or good and evil, that type of stuff. But everybody is seeing changes. It's called the paradigm shift of consciousness. In other words, the energy of the way people are thinking and living their lives are changing. And when you talked about COVID, about all the changes, the preservatives and the money making from that.
Right.
But it happened way before that. It had to start somewhere. And us older ones, the wise ones, all right, we're all wise, but we can look back and see the changes, and that's why we see it so clearly. I didn't see it as a little girl. I see it now. But it was all those life experiences that I had to build that wisdom.
Right.
And also to make different choices. That's not working. You know, I'll try this. I was like, oh, no, that didn't work back then. Well, I was a different person back then. I'm not who I am now. I've got more wisdom to say, okay, that's not really working. Let's change it. Let's change it. And it's the same as a serendipity, the energy within the field, the people that are coming into your life. And why are they coming into your life? And you know it, just like the education that you're talking about now.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know why. Is because maybe it's time for the change. It's part of the growth.
Yeah.
That's the knowing inside.
It's interesting because I look at other changes in other people that have sort of entered my life, and it somehow all seems to line up, like the way they say something, and the, you know, as you shift, you're. Sounds terrible, but I can't think of a different analogy. You shed people, you shed things. This no longer serves me.
You change your energy. You change the frequency.
Yeah.
Now think about your mom with the Reiki.
Yeah.
What is Reiki doing?
I don't know. She's in Italy
okay,
right now.
So
No, it's about that. I think that is just simply. Well, I don't know. I think it's her energy, right? But she doesn't touch you. She just hovers around you.
There's different ways. Some people do touch.
Yeah.
It's all about the body getting balance, homeostasis. All right. The body knows how to take care of itself.
Yeah.
All right. But it has to have the ingredients to do that. So it's all about being a conduit. A practitioner is a conduit where the energy is coming through them. The energy where? The quantum energy.
Yes.
How is it coming through them? They're breathing it. It's going into their heart. It's their intention of helping the other person. So we're just conduits that go into the person's chakra areas, which is part of the quantum energy that's coming through. And if the body is ready to heal, it's all about the person's choice, but it's about your intention of trying to help them. And so Reiki is a passive energy where the body starts to change and feel all this stuff and wants to change. It has to do with the person's wanting to change. It's all about the consciousness.
So is a lot of this like our own self-work? Forgive me, I forgot.
You have a cord here that's not coming out.
No, I had a cord that I need over here. Let's see. There we go. That works. Okay. That'll work.
I know it's deep. It's deep, but it's all connected.
Yes.
With your thoughts and how you respond to people.
But it does sound like a lot of this stuff. How do I say this without sounding, you know, like where you would, I think a lot of it is the individual. You have to go inside.
It's
right.
It's an inside job.
Yes.
This is what I said.
Everything is an inside job. So when you're having Reiki done,
yes, is
it working or does it not work? Now,
it's working.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying, like, there are people who walk away, go, I didn't feel anything. I don't know. Okay, but is that your resistance to it, and not recognizing it? And is there
intention?
Yes, and if you go in and go, boy, I'm having a hard time here lining up. I need something that's going to help me. That conduit can help you get back into your flow, but you got to go inside
exactly
and recognize, I'm having a hard time here, and that's it. And if it's not Reiki, if it's talk therapy, if it's
massage therapy, if it's acupuncture,
yes,
hands-on healing, pastors or whatever.
Yes, yep.
It's in what's happening here. It is the flow of quantum energy coming through and the intention. That's a buzzword too. A lot of people don't know what intention means.
Right.
Well, it has to do with what's your agenda. What do you really want to achieve?
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to manipulate somebody? Are you really trying to help somebody? And the same with ourselves. I mean, are we going to have a Reiki session because my wife wanted me to have it and this is the only way to save the marriage? Or do I really enjoy it? It's my time piece. I used to say years ago, I was so busy, being in the dentist chair, just relaxing, just totally ozoning out is the time that I was able to relax. It's like, you're kidding, in the dentist chair?
Yeah.
It was a time for me.
Yeah,
Same
I know.
with
That sounds really weird. I think I fell asleep in the dentist chair once while they were working on my mouth.
So
I woke myself
it's the way we look at it. But it could be, as a child, you were tortured and going to the dentist and said, no, don't go to the dentist.
Yes, right.
When I was a phlebotomist, it was the same thing about, getting blood work done. And if the parent has had the terror over it and the trauma, they put it onto the children. Oh, he's just like me, He's just like me. He's gonna. And the other kids go, no, Mom, here we go again. And then all of a sudden, the mom passes out, and then the child or the person passes out because it wasn't anything that was done to them. It was the fear of the issues in the tissues, the imprint of the energy that was in the cellular structure. Yeah, and it's all about choices, going inside, energy.
Yeah, and so many things that we have in life are learned behaviors.
Exactly.
Or learned reactions, which really then goes, is it nature or nurture?
How did you learn it? When did you learn it?
Yeah. Well, what was really young.
Yeah, and what was it going on? It's like, the school system, years ago, we learned how to read, write, and arithmetic, be able to do multiplications, be able to quantitatively think. And now it's like they have to have the computer. They have to have the calculator to figure out things out.
Yes.
And it's like, and the same with the cursive. Why did the cursive go away and just printing come out? And so it's like, those are the changes that we've seen over the years. Why did that happen?
I don't know.
Well, it's a change of the frequency of what's happening in the earth. It's also good evolution, but it's also, what's the agenda behind it? What is the intention behind it? Think about that. So COVID was a paradigm shift, a shift of consciousness, meaning things are going to change.
Yeah.
But it had to lead up to that to change, just like evolution in medicine.
Right.
What we knew 200 years ago is not what we know now. And why did it speed up so quickly in the last 100 years? The last 50 years?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the change of energy. How is it coming in? And it has to do with the actual energy of the earth, the frequency of the earth, and also how the sun is transmitting the energy, the heat, down into our electromagnetic field. How do we respond to things?
See, it's so weird because it sounds so
woo-woo.
Yeah,
yeah. But it's all scientific.
Yeah, it is, because it's all here. This is the stuff that is here. I always say you never truck anything in here.
Well, if you look at that though, all right, think about that. If you're looking at, you're evolving and you're coming up with proof that as we're evolving, just like we didn't come from apes. And the reason why we have 23 chromosomes instead of 24 like the apes is it has to do with a higher frequency. It has to do with our creator.
Right.
And a lot of people don't want to believe that is because they have the fear or something, blockage from religion. It's not about religion. It's about your inside connectedness of who you are as a divine being. Why are we here? Where did we come from?
Right.
So if you take a look at all that, you can see the changes starting to happen. And it just didn't happen. It's been evolving for some time. The reason why it might not want to evolve to the truth is that people would make money. People would have to change. The books would have to change. The teaching would have to change. The education would have to change. And a lot of people say, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm going to ego. All right? So it's all about people. What is scientifically, that's what I like about the scientists that really go, okay, let's look at all the new things that are coming out. And a lot of times the new things have been out, but society wouldn't let them out because then it would change. What would it change? It would change the academics. It would change the financial. People who were controlling or profiting from it wasn't going to profit anymore because then everybody could do it. Everybody knew. And that's exactly what, going back to being authentic, all right? Going back, we all have the power to connect within. We all are part of a bigger picture, whatever it is. We came from somewhere. But it's the miracle in science of how a seed, an egg and a sperm come together and it forms. How did that happen? How did that happen? So when you go back to science, you can talk about the sacred geometry and the molecules and atoms and how life actually developed.
Right.
That's where we can see, we understand it. However, intention and agenda. Where are they going to go with this? Just like AI. AI is good. It's the intention of the person that is producing the AI. Yeah, right. But, and there's negative and positive. There we go with the love and the fear, negative and positive, good and bad. Right. And it's coming out now. And it's the change of humanity. And it's good. COVID was good, allowing people to really take a look at themselves. Right. It also make them want to do something different, force them to do something different. Had the children, but it also impacted the children's learning. It did, yeah. And them having the socialization, having them growing in the wisdom. There's a lot of bad about it.
Yeah, there is.
There is. And now we are experiencing it. We
Yeah.
are experiencing it as far as what's happening right now. It's all an inside job.
Yeah.
You got to go inside. It's about staying happy,
Yeah.
Staying in the higher frequency.
The higher frequency is always is the case, and I try to say to people, it's like an athlete being in the zone, right? I can't miss a shot on the basketball court. I throw a dime on the right to the player, and it's how do you get there and stay there, and that's where athletes have sports psychologists and all these things to help their mind stay sharp. And I think we're starting to see the benefit of the mind, like keeping the mind healthy, almost like a workout. Like I have a friend who has a business, and he calls it the Mind Fit Gym.
Yes.
And the idea would be that you could get a membership, and if you wanted to go into a group class, you could drop in a group class, and if you wanted to do a game or something, but it was all about keeping your mind
growing.
Sharp. Yes.
And building those neurons and transmitters.
Yes.
And the more you do, the more you can stay active.
Right.
It's when you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
It's in anything. Sports, mind.
But we and then we talk about things like, and you can kind of think about this, but we hear often words like depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're not real. They are.
Oh,
but
they
sometimes when you're depressed, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to move. You don't want to get out of bed.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
There are times, you could really be, and that's where I think sometimes the inside job is to go in and like you said, my legs work. Yeah. Right? My legs work. So take a walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy the sunshine.
Do something different.
Yeah, take a
If one
look
thing's
around.
not working, do something different. No,
Right.
but I don't want to. Why not? It's because, and it's really the fear of change.
It sounds, it's really, in a way, the more we talk and the more we say it, I feel like it's a very simple thing, and we complicate it a little bit. Because, in terms of like, if you're depressed, take a walk. Well, take a walk, but...
Or just take a pill.
Yeah, well, see, that's the easy thing.
Yeah, I know. That's the red pill or the blue pill. But
Right.
where's the violet pill? Where's the violet pill? The violet pill is about making your own choices, what works for you.
Yeah.
And then realizing the choices that you make and how it affects other people.
Right.
It's the same as understanding in your field, what you're thinking is what you're going to project outside. And if you go into a room to somebody you've had an argument with before, what's immediately going to come up?
Probably the argument.
Exactly.
Or
Instead
something
of,
that's going to
wait
trigger
a minute, all right, we both learned from that situation, I'm not going to do that anymore. That's a learning opportunity. But
Yes.
also shaking somebody's hands is like, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Taking accountability for it.
Sometimes, right, too, like, I certainly would never say to somebody, oh, don't have the medicine, don't have the pill. I think it can be a tool to help you maybe get past the initial emotion of, I just want to lash out at this person.
But what happens if the person is really unhappy with themselves? What do? They go off and tell somebody else what just happened with you.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's like, the gossip and the character assassination and build the energy so they don't have to look at themselves.
Right.
That's what it's about.
But sometimes would it be fair to say that the medicine gives you a chance to sort of pause and look inside?
Oh, yeah. Just like
I feel like that's almost like a barrier. Like you can't do it yourself, so here's a tool that may help you get there.
And thank God we are advanced in technology that we can do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But is it over dependence?
Well, that's the worry that
that's
do
the whole,
get,
and that's where we've seen it all happen.
Yeah.
The same with labeling. When we talk about labeling people, you're not gonna listen to them because they're just a drug addict or they're just an alcoholic or whatever.
Right.
It's like, where's that coming from?
Yeah.
Why is a person drinking? Why is a person doing the drugs? It's usually the anxiety and the depression.
Yes, it
so they
is.
don't have to feel. It's the same with smoking.
Yeah.
Every time you take drag, it calms the emotions inside.
It's breathing.
Exactly.
Smoking is just breathing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, you can, dissect it or whatever and understand it. The thing is, understanding from an intellectual point of view and then saying, okay, that's not working for me anymore. I'm going to change. I'm going to do different. Why aren't you doing different? Is because I'm caught in the fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm caught in the fear. So when that door closes, look at it as an opportunity to do different. And thank God this is what I was going to pray for. It's exactly what you were praying. Help me, help me, help me. And all of a sudden, the opportunity comes by, but you don't realize it. You think it's going to be a bad thing. Really, it is the door that you need to take to open, to move forward.
Yeah.
And that's where the gut feeling is inside. Go inside and ask, should I take this job? Should I do this? I don't know what to do. But you have to train yourself. It just doesn't happen. And a lot of people say, well, I prayed to God and nothing's happening. Okay, I prayed to God. Yeah. It's you. You are God. You are the strength.
Oh, see, that's
you
what I
have
believe
the power
too.
within.
Yep, just like the song says, right?
Yeah.
The power within.
Exactly.
And you do, and you need to step into your light. And I think it is sometimes that simple, but we complicate it with things, and they go, well, I can't do that. I got to get over here, or the kids are this or that. But sometimes,
it's making balance. Doing balance.
Yes.
It's about balance.
Right.
Okay, and also compromising. Okay, I'll do this. I'll do that. That's called a relationship, a healthy relationship, because everything changes every single day.
Yes.
You have to be ready for the changes. And then what you were talking about, compartmentalizing, all right, and what you have to do. Same with multitasking. Women with multitasking, men with compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Right.
And what is really good is when you put it together. When you put it together and work together as a team.
Yeah.
As a partnership.
Right.
All right. And that's what we all want, don't we? We don't want to be alone.
No.
All right.
No, we're social animals.
It doesn't mean that if you're alone that you're not happy. Because
no, and I think you have to have that security in yourself.
And where do you get that?
To do that from inside.
Yeah, inside.
You got to get it inside. Yeah. So it's all. Well, I think we've just solved the world's problems here. I don't know.
No.
Is that possible?
Well, it's what it's all about what you put out there. If you're going to look at things as being bad, then that's what's going to come towards you. And it's like
I agree with that.
I look at hope.
Yes, me
hope
too. Right.
And excitement and the light is that there's always light at the end of the tunnel, as they say.
I think so too. I also think that in a very weird thing, if there are a lot of things that have been said. So, but let's say religiously, right? Yeah. Let go and let God.
Yes.
That's one, right? Okay.
That's what recovery work is all about.
Yep. And I think that that's a really good thing. I would say to anybody that I'm not completely sure that human beings are capable of unconditional love. I'm not sure. But I am pretty sure that the universe loves all of us unconditionally.
Absolutely.
Unconditionally.
We're one with the divine.
So all that means is whatever you believe, it will support.
Exactly.
I don't have enough, it will support that.
Exactly.
I have enough, it will support that.
Be happy with what you have.
Yes. And
it's gratitude list. I'm happy I can open my eyes and see.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I go, all right, that's so simple. But when you said...
You need to keep it simple.
No, but right. And when you said, I have legs that work, I started to think, oh my gosh, I watched my father, who used to run and do all this stuff, fall continuously.
Yes.
And his legs didn't work. His body wasn't working anymore. To get up and go, I got this. This is a gift.
That's why
this is a gift today.
Exactly. And when I share all the things I've been through, all the tragedy and trauma and my family all dying, watching them die, and the important things in life, doing hospice work, the honor of it, seeing the decline of a person and feeling sad because you knew who they were before. Mm-hmm. But also it's about you having compassion for your fellow man, have compassion for yourself first.
Yeah.
Go within, find peace within, and then you can give it out to others.
And I have this weird thing, like, I go, you never get it done. You never get it wrong. Like, stop beating yourself up about, I shouldn't have done that. The decisions
shoulda, woulda, and coulda, beating yourself up.
You never get it wrong. It's all about learning, and it's a ride. And at the end of the ride, you're not done. You're just done in this body, this machine, this machine. And that's why it's a crude way to put it, but all we are pumps and pipes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Think about it. How many people do you know had a stent put in their heart? Why? Because the pipe was clogged.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when they talk about ascension, everybody talks, that's a buzzword too, ascension. People think they're going to die right now. They're going to ascend just like Jesus did. No, ascension is building a higher frequency within inside yourself. Mm-hmm. In other words, your spiritual knowing inside, your abilities. And that's what's happening now, the shift of consciousness. Where is the connection between spirituality? And when they hear the word God, Jesus, Buddha, whatever, what are they going to react towards it? It's all about not naming anything or putting a label on anything, but really about going inside and feel the power that you have inside. And you can take that power with you when you pass over because your soul never dies. That's the difference in the energy now.
Well, see, that's what I believe. And I think sometimes, I don't want to.
Remember, I'm a minister.
Yeah, I don't want to. What I was going to say is I don't want to shit on religion, and I certainly don't. No. But I think that sometimes I think it would be hard to argue that it wasn't a form of control. And if you look at the Catholic Church and all the things that went on, and the people whose lives were damaged by actions that people took where they covered up and they hid and they did it, and it was all about control and property and not taxation and all this. And I'm not saying that there aren't good people in that religion.
It's all about relearning
that come with proper intent. I'm just saying that maybe you need to step back and go, it's really about, again, the inside job. I really think the message of Jesus was messed up. And that I am the way. No, be like me. You are like me. Go like me. You have this power. You have it all in you.
And have compassion.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So, cool.
There you go. What else is happening in Sheila's world?
So what's going on with me? A lot of different things here. Once a month, the first Wednesday of the month, I'm actually part of a conscious psychic development class at Mythic Treasures. Yeah. Mythic Treasures is a metaphysical store in Henrietta on Jefferson Road. And Mythic is everything about things you can't see type thing.
Yeah.
But it's really about love, God, however you want to practice it. Of course, it's got the bad name of woo-woo stuff, but it's really not. And so this class, this psychic development class, is free.
Okay.
And the actual owner of Mythic Treasures, Sue Stevenson, actually wanted 3 of us spiritual people. We all come from different walks of life.
Yeah.
All right. We have Lady Shira, she actually is a coach, a witch coach. All right. It's not Wicca. It's not pagan. It's like her own. She's a reverend. It's about shadow work, but the light and the dark.
Yep.
Then we have a medium, Colleen Irwin, spiritualism and Lily Dale and all the other stuff, and reading people, and I'm more the metaphysical.
Yeah.
Metaphysical meaning the spiritual part of who we are. Where do we come from? What's our divinity? And the 3 of us have a different way of communicating, but it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all about who are you inside, your spiritual development, how can you recognize it, and everybody learns in a different way. Just like I don't like tomatoes, so I eat something else. We all have a different flair in the buffet, a buffet of life. And sometimes you like food one time and you don't another. It's all about growth too. So that's the first Wednesday of the month. We just started this past month. Also, I'm spitting all over myself. Sorry about that. Also, I do private events, all right, on all different topics. All right, you can go to my website and check all that out. But that is, a lot of people just want to talk it over with their friends. Have a get-together, have me come in for a couple hours, and let's talk. And questions. A lot of people have questions, so that's what I do also. Of course, I
like that.
Yeah, and of course I have my sessions, individual sessions, where we talk about what's no longer serve you, and let's get them out. So I do energy work on them, but it starts with talking, just like listen to you, intimacy, having that intimacy to want to share what's really going on, because a lot of times you go to professionals and it's like, I don't want that. What time is it? See you next week. It's like, no, let's look on tools that you can use, and that's the difference. Being a metaphysical minister, it's about things unseen, all right? And how can you change your life? And then, of course, I have my classes, Integrated Energy Therapy, where you can actually learn how to do this on yourself, bring your consciousness field up. And then also Unity Field Healing is about tapping into this higher divine quantum energy that's here now.
And you can find all this at Shelia Tillich.
On my website. And then heart math. I can teach you how to do heart math.
Yeah.
Building your self-resilience against stress.
Yeah.
Changing your variability rate of calmness so that in any situation you can be calm. Or you can think about it before, keeping the calmness and not letting your blood pressure rise.
Right? It's
the same as
healthy.
Yoga. It's about doing yoga, but without having to do all the stretching or whatever, So I have a combination, and I do all this stuff myself.
Yeah.
You know, I have to. I have sessions on myself all the time with other people.
Yeah.
And also, when I give a session to somebody, I get healed at the same time because my emotions and stuff comes out too. And that is the connection with the compassion, the figure 8 energy, quantum energy coming through the earth, and how you react, think, and behave around people. All right?
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Very
I love
good.
it. SheliaTillich.com.
Yeah, go to Shelia to SHEILA.
T-I-L-L-I-C. Yeah.
What I did.
That's right.
SheliaTillich.com.
You got a
Well,
mountain
Sheila, another,
inside your chest.
simple but needed, right?
Exactly.
And I think it's great.
Yep.
For Shelia Tillich, I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you tomorrow.
Ignite the mist.
All right.
Feel the earth beneath your soles. Roots run deep.
Have you been to Leo's Bakery and Deli in East Rochester recently? Oh, you got to get there. They're open every day, so it's very convenient. It'll satisfy your sweet tooth, your sandwich cravings. Get the Cubano. Tell them Billified said to have the Cubano sandwich. Fresh baked bread, handcrafted pastries, deli favorites, and desserts like cannolis that'll make you rethink your self-control. It's all waiting for you. So, what's the best thing about Leo's? Everything. Check them out at Dispatch Drive in East Rochester because every day is a good day for Leo's because the best thing about Leo's is everything.